everyone. We are so excited that Baker+Brown is back.
Kim and Paige coming at you right after this.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Baker+Brown. It's been a while since we've done an episode, but we're excited to relaunch and start bringing you this on a weekly basis again, as all of us try to take some baby steps at least towards being more normal. I don't know that. I guess it's the new normal.
The new normal.
But I'm Paige Brown. I'm the mayor of the city of Gallatin. This is Kim Baker, CEO of the Gallatin Chamber of Commerce, and we thought we'd come to you today from a new location. This is actually a beautiful little piece of land. It's located on East Main Street. Directly behind us is the Gallatin High School football stadium, to give you a frame of reference. And this is some land that the city purchased last year. I've always thought it was just a beautiful piece of land. It's in the heart of downtown Gallatin, and wanted to show it to you, and thought today would be a good day because thankfully the sun is finally out for us this week. Hopefully this is going to be a park sometime in the near future, but at the very least it's going to remain public land for the citizens of Gallatin. So I think we'll start out today talking about coronavirus, its impact, where we are now. It's been just a horrendous time for the residents of Gallatin, and that's why Kim and I both, in our different efforts, tried to reach out to the community repeatedly, share some positive words, give you some facts to work with, but help the community stay informed, because we really have been in a difficult situation. Gallatin, I think, more than any other city in the state of Tennessee, because per capita we have been affected more. Most of us know someone who's had the virus, and many of us know someone who has died from the virus. And there are a lot of members of other communities that cannot say that. So I say that to acknowledge exactly where we are and how difficult it has been for our community, and why our path forward is important, but also how that points to us being such a resilient, strong, connected, bonded community, and that's going to be our tools going forward. We're still seeing new cases each day. Thankfully, that percentage of increase continues to go down, and we hope to stay on that trajectory. But right now we have orders from our Governor Bill Lee to start opening things back up, and this week it's been restaurants and retail, and we're doing what we can to kind of help our businesses do well by you. And Kim's going to talk a little bit about what the Chamber has done in response to those new orders that came out last week, so that we can help our businesses operate safely and communicate to their patrons well, and help us continue to move forward in a safe and positive manner. So talk about the whole back to business plan that you guys have done.
Back to business. As a chamber, we're so ready for things to get back to business, but like the governor, we want to make sure folks are reopening responsibly. So over the weekend, we worked together, the mayor and I, to develop some content to help our businesses do just that. And so we are asking the businesses in the Gallatin community to commit to follow the Tennessee Pledge that was presented by the governor last week. You can read the full pledge at tennesseepledge.com, and once there you can read over the different guidelines. We've made it real easy for our businesses. We've created a short Google form to help them go over those guidelines, check off that they accept and understand them. Once they do that, we get a notification so we can help spread the word that they're ready to reopen and do it in a responsible way. Once they do that, we have some stuff for them. We have a back to business package that we've put together, including this blue and red bow for them to display outside the business, as well as a certificate that says that they've taken the Tennessee Pledge. There's some other things in there which we'll talk about in a minute, but if you see this outside, know that that business has committed to the Tennessee Pledge and is committed to reopening in a responsible way that protects their customers as well as, and importantly, their employees. On the other side of that, though, we know that there are some businesses that are choosing not to reopen, and that's okay too. Just because they can reopen doesn't mean they have to reopen.
Or that they feel comfortable reopening.
Right, exactly. And we are finding that some don't yet. And that's the other piece of this pledge, is that citizens in the community can commit to follow this pledge as well. And what we are asking those citizens to do is follow this pledge with grace and also guidelines, and to continue to support our businesses like you have been, but even more so right now by following these guidelines and showing grace and kindness and all the other things that people of Gallatin know how to do in a time like this when they support those businesses.
Yeah, and that it's largely asking patrons for restaurants and retailers to follow the social distancing guidelines, wear face coverings where requested, be understanding when they say, we have tables open, but they're not within our allowed seating because they're too close together. Or would you please wait outside because we don't want standing room inside of our restaurants. And some of the other conveniences that you may have been used to in various retailers and restaurants may not exist right now. And I think we've all been in a time of very high emotion, and it's easy to get impatient, to feel frustrated, to lose our tempers, and we don't want to do that. We want to be so supportive of these businesses who are trying to, as Kim frequently says, pivot and do business a new way, because that's the demands that have been on them constantly. And they're doing it in a time where they're experiencing severe loss of revenue. And so we want this reopening to work well. We want our businesses to get back to business and start making money again. And we want their customers to be able to do business with them in a way that they feel good about. And so we appreciate the people on both sides working to make this work for our community, because the number one thing that we want to happen is for the spread of the virus not to increase in our community. And we believe that if the patrons do their part and the businesses do their part, it won't increase. And so I think that Gallatin has the grit to prove that can be the case. And we are that community that does things as they should with the right spirit to help each other out. And so that's what we're asking of our residents, and appreciate the perspective kind of that was taken as far as putting responsibility on all of us, because that is where the responsibility needs to lie. That's where it's hand in hand with our freedom. And I'm absolutely confident can do this and do this well. And I'm excited about getting back to business for our community. There have been a lot of changes for all of us, but certainly the city and the chamber have continued operating during this pandemic. And the city, by and large, has operated almost business as usual. Your services haven't been interrupted. There have been some changes to how you have to interact with people in the city, because our buildings are closed. Our civic center is closed. Our parks are open, but our playgrounds are closed. So there has been some change, and we do have people working from home, and we've had people out on leave. We've had people quarantined. Not much different than any other business. I know the chamber, you guys have really changed how you've done things.
We've had to change a lot. A lot of the chamber produces over 200 events annually. So a lot of those, because they involve right now, more than one person, those are on hold right now. We haven't canceled or closed anything. Really, we're just operating in a different way. Everything's shifted to a virtual format. We've postponed some larger events like a golf tournament. And then my staff, they are all still very much working, just in different places. And so we hop on Zoom calls a few times a week with each other, and we have a group text message. But business as usual. We're just not letting the public in our office at this time, but we are accessible. So.
Yeah, I say earnestly to you, Kim, I really appreciate how the chamber is done, because they could have not been doing much during this time, but they have been working every single day since all of this started to respond to needs that really no one else could in our community or was willing to. And they've found creative, positive ways to do that, and they've done it with a lot of energy and passion. And so that matters. That's one of the things that's really going to help us get to the other side of this. At the City of Gallatin, like I said, we're pretty much business as usual, but that's going to be a good thing when we're ready to rebound when this is passed. And it will be passed, and we will be on the other side, and we will be a better and stronger community as a result of it. We are going through the budget right now for the city. The budget, I'm projecting, is going to take a very, very big hit, but Gallatin is strong and it is stable financially, so that hit won't be passed on to our residents. We're doing a very lean budget. We are certainly arresting a lot of our capital expenses because we need to put those off until we have a better idea of what revenue may do long term. But Gallatin has a healthy reserve. We maintain a rainy day fund. It is 20% of our operating expenses. That's over $7 million. And then we have an additional reserve, which right now is probably in the $3 to $4 million range, and so we'll use about half of that additional reserve to fund the budget request if the council supports the proposal that I have taken to them, and I'm hopeful that they will. I do think it's a very responsible budget, one that keeps things going, one that keeps all of our employees employed, and keeps things going for all of our citizens in the way that they've become accustomed to. Looking forward, I am very, very optimistic that Gallatin has some very exciting things that are still going to happen for the city this year. So can't say too much about that right now, but I think if you've been around, you might have some ideas, and I hope my optimism and my true commitment to that shows, because I'm excited. If things come to go for Gallatin, it's going to put us in a far better situation than a lot of other communities, and it's some things that we can all be really, really excited about and look forward to. So that's kind of the outlook for the city as a whole, and we're going to get there. It's just it's a hard time, but I think we're going to be in a really good time very, very soon.
And our Baker+Brown tradition, what a better way to end than the nice list. So there's been a lot of nice things happening lately. There's been a lot of bad things, but I think for us, the nice...
There have been so many nice things. We can't even touch on them because there have literally been hundreds within our community. And we don't plan this. We just kind of do what comes to mind. So if we're sliding you, it's not intentional. It's just where our brains happen to be at the minute. But I think probably my first nice list mention would be our Gallatin Public Utilities workers who keep our water treatment plant going. If you don't know this, they have actually been quarantined for over a month because it's a small group of people that run that plant, and if one were to get sick, or if they, God forbid, were to all get sick, our water treatment operators would not be able to work. So they have quarantined on site. They've been away from their families. They've missed birthdays. They've missed Easter. They've missed very important times, not to mention the fact that this whole coronavirus is difficult for families. And to not be there to support your families, I just think that's something that the people of our city should be aware of and be appreciative of and thankful for. The utility department actually had the foresight to say, do we need to do this? And their employees said, absolutely, and we will volunteer to quarantine on site to protect our water supply. And that is, water supply is so core. And they've taken care of our water supply, and I'm just so touched by that and just really appreciative that they did that. Your turn.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, too. I was also touched when I heard of that story, but All Access Coach Leasing actually took them a coach bus out there, so they're sleeping in style and comfortably as they're rotating night shift to day shift in that bus. I think we've talked about it before, but I think it's worth another mention, and probably several more, is the Gallatin Mutual Aid Group. And so the Gallatin Mutual Aid Group is a group that generated on the Facebook, just some citizens in the community who wanted to find a way to help give back during this time. And we've seen a lot of great things come out of that. Feeding the Frontline, that group rallying together to help feed frontline workers in the Gallatin community. And there's also been some other groups. There's been the PPE Stitchers group, which it's a group of folks that are sewing masks, and then the C19 Liberators who have been making the face shields. So all of that, just really great ways folks are just stepping up and coming together during this time.
And I guess I'd mention too Carrington Building Products out there that's been working with the face shields as well. They apparently just called up Ken Widener at Emergency Management Agency one day and said, hey, we think we can make face masks. And they've been turning out thousands, not just for our community, but for people all over the country. And I'm so proud that comes from a Gallatin business, that novel idea and that commitment to do good for others in a time when they didn't have to. And so I think that's very, very special. I think I'd also just throw out there, every individual, and there are thousands in this community, that have helped your neighbors, helped our healthcare workers, shared a smile, shared a kind word. It's hard to smile when you've got a face mask on, but you see it in their eyes. And just gone out of their way to do kind things for other people that aren't necessarily part of an organization or an organized effort, but they've done those things just with kindness and love and grace, because that's the essence of who we are.
That's what it takes. Something that really moved me, one day I was in charge of collecting the funds to feed the front line, and people were sending it to my Venmo, $5-10 here, and I think within a few hours I took over $4,000, and people just wanting to send money to help feed other people that needed to be fed right now. And when I went back through later that night and looked at all the people that had given money, I noticed that there were some people on there that I knew that were without work right now.
Oh, wow.
And so that really, I mean, that brought me to tears, seeing here's somebody who's unemployed right now and can't make money, but they still are willing to give some of their money to help a cause like this. So I think that's really moving.
Yeah. And I'm going to mention the rest of our Gallatin City workforce because they've kept coming to work, and they've worked in a very tense time in a situation that certainly they can't all be comfortable in. Our police officers and our firefighters, they're on the front line with patients, and they've kept coming to work. We've had some employees working from home. We have had some employees on leave, but by and large, they've all been there every day with a positive mindset, doing what they needed to do to support our residents, and with real commitment and a great attitude. So I want to add them as well.
I'll add that about my staff as well. You see a lot of me, but there's actually 6 of us at the chamber, and we don't see a lot of each other right now, but they're all working remotely and getting things thrown at them left and right as new things. We've all become experts on PPP and different SBA loans, and now the Tennessee Pledge. And so they've really worked hard to keep our businesses and the community engaged and informed during this time. So I so appreciate them.
And again, y'all have done an amazing job. We so appreciate it. Did want to bring you a book today, because I thought this book, it's not actually a Gallatin specific book, but it's a great book as you're still trying to be with just your family and social distance from others. This is a book called Touring the Middle Tennessee Backroads. I actually found it again on Amazon this weekend, just when I was looking for a different book. And it's a great book if you want to go out and just kind of explore your area and see some things you might not have seen before. Hand in hand with this book would be some of the great tours that the state of Tennessee Tourism Department and our local tourism department promote, with some various trails you can travel by car, and some different trips that you can take in the area. And so check out, this is by Robert Brandt. It's called Touring the Middle Tennessee Backroads. And it's a good idea. It's a good way for you and your family to take a little road trip one afternoon and see some parts of our area that you might not have seen before. So that's my book idea.
You can find all of those trails online in digital formats. We have them at the office right now, but
you're closed.
We're closed, and getting them online would be better and cleaner anyway.
And they may even by now, I haven't looked in a long time, but by now they may have a digital application where you can download an app to your phone, which would really be fun to do. So, well, it's almost time to say goodbye, but before we do, I want to mention Kim's shirt. I have one too, but it was a little chilly today, so I didn't wear mine. You've got some shirts that you're selling to the community, and some other essential gear that you might be interested in.
Yeah, so we rolled out a couple new shirt designs a few weeks ago. We rolled out a Gallatin Strong design, because we are Gallatin Strong. And we also rolled out a local design that says local with the tri-star in the O. And we have those for sale. We had some new spring and summer colors that arrived on Monday. And we have those at the office. You can find them on our website and on our social media. They're $20. And all of the proceeds go to a business fund that we've created to help support our businesses during this time. So all of the money, we're not making money off these shirts. It all goes right back into the community to support our businesses. And we also do have something essential, masks. We don't have them in my hand. I don't have one to show you yet, but I hope they will be here Friday or Monday. But we have ordered several different designs. We'll pop it up here so you can look at them. 5 different designs. They're $8, and you can do local pickup or shipping. They are fabric, so they are washable, but we hope that you will wear them and practice social distancing, show some local love, and just help keep our community safe.
And I love these shirts. If you haven't been around here a long time, I can tell you that a decade ago, there was no Gallatin merchandise that was not associated with Gallatin High School athletics. And so on the one hand, it's really rewarding and exciting that we have merchandise to offer, but more than that, it's so meaningful to me that people want to exhibit their pride in their community, which is our community. And so I will see just people out wearing shirts that say Gallatin Strong, or many of the other shirts that you all and some of our private sector businesses have produced over the years. And I'm just like, how wonderful is it that somebody loves their community enough that they would purchase apparel to promote it. So I love that about our city and kind of the city that we've become and the way that we do have so much pride in it. And just I think that's a good note to end on with you all today. But we are going to be coming back to you each week, bringing you more and more Baker & Browns. We'd love you to drop comments in here, ask questions. You're continuing to do Facebook Live updates. I am as well. If there's something that we need to address in one of those, let us know. And give us some ideas for future shows, too. And we may continue to take it on the road. If this turns out okay, why not, right?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. This is our first on location.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we thought the backdrop was better than our Baker & Brown backdrop. You can figure out who we are while we're here. So thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. You take care.
Keep showing grace. Bye.